These aren't bullfrogs, but they're green frogs. Let's go throw them in the water, see what happens. You think they're gonna be quick and smart enough to actually grab one of these? Cycle of life. Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the pond series. But let me tell you what, these fish have not been cheap, from the dig right through the feed. Now we have to take care of them. Thankfully I have a sponsor for this, Throne Kingdom at War. Let me tell you about this game. Obviously guys, this is a browser game, but what makes this better? Modern, rich, fantastic graphics for one. You can surround yourself with reliable allies and create your own order. Conquer the throne and reign over the empire. Manage big cities and a huge army. Exchange resources with your comrades and conquer the king's fortress. Conduct research. Train your army. Arm your hero and get him ready for new challenges. Best of all, it's free to play. Join Throne using the links in the description below. You're going to get 200 gold coins just for starting. This is the perfect game for me. I leave it open on another browser, pick away at it every time I need a break from editing. It's good for me, it's good for you. Now, let's jump back in the video. Let's feed our fish. So there's dog trainers out here, and they put what it's called chuckers. And so the chuckers are really stupid birds. They're gonna try to catch one by hand. Too slow. Next time we need a slingshot or a pellet gun, or maybe both. They use them to train the dogs, so they raise them domestic, and then they release them into the grass and whatnot, and then they train the dogs to jump out, you know, like retrievers and all that stuff. So they're out there using the pond too. But they're only out here on Sunday, so every once in a while these little chuckers, well, they miss them and then they escape, and then of course they don't want to get them because that's too much work, so they roam around the farm. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you know that a long time ago Jeremy and I did a Puddle Lake trip where we trekked way back to a secret back lake, well, we called Puddle Lake. So that was a Puddle Lake adventure, except we did it in the winter, and what we used was a Pelican brand sled, durable as heck. Dragged it for hours and hours and hours through the woods to get to our destination. Well, this is the Pelican version of a kayak, and I'm embarrassed to say that they sent me this soon after I filmed that video. Just never had a chance to actually take it out. I just didn't have any water to put it in, and now we finally do with the pond here. So this is gonna have a new home now. If I don't use this anywhere else, let's make this the pond official kayak. So this is going to be our puttering around. It's really well designed. It's got foot pedals at the front for stability. They're adjustable. It's got two wells you can put your stuff in, front and back. It's got two rod holders as well. The seat's adjustable, so you can make it a tilt forward or tilt back depending on your preference. And it's removable. So to me, I remove the plugs if I want nobody to steal it. I take the paddle, and which is collapsible, by the way. You can detach it, and the seat, which is completely portable. Just pull that out, take it with you. So this is the perfect pack-in day tripper. It's camo, as you can tell, so it's perfect for hunting, duck hunting or goose hunting, and it's super stable. So we're going to feed our fish and make sure that they're happy and content. We're keeping an eye on water temperature as always. So let's put the kayak in for a spin. This thing paddles really well. It's like just the right size. There's still a ton of algae in here. We're talking with a couple of people to try to get some aeration sponsored for this. We are looking between 2 and 4 pumps in order to get enough oxygen in here. Again, we are concerned with the algae, so we're keeping an eye on that, keeping an eye on water temperature. But the only really thing that we can do is actually take care of the amount of oxygen in there this year. If it's too cold or if it's too warm, all we can do is make it colder by digging. It's not something we can take care of now. We can remove some of the algae, we can kill some of the algae. It's not a preferred way of going about it because sometimes it can kill the fish. There are treatments which we're looking into, but the main thing right now is to get our solar aeration system put in. So we're going to bring a sponsor on board, hopefully. Right now we're just looking at getting some estimates on size so that we know exactly how much solar power and the number of pumps that we need. This thing paddles really well. I'm surprised, but delighted. It really maneuvers really well. This would be an excellent fishing boat. Well, it's gonna be an excellent fishing boat. It has no choice. That's its home. Fishing boat and research boat for the trout pond. So Mark's here, obviously, with Growing Up Gowdy. If you guys have checked that channel, check that channel. He's covering the same sorts of things, plus extra. His own little spin on things, plus his own, you know, take on life, I guess, in the outdoors and farming and all that stuff. So he's got a bunch of different things, catch and cooks and whatnot.
So in order to figure out how many pumps we need to aerate the entire pond, we need to know how many gallons of water is in the pond. And in order to do that, we're gonna have to take the length of the pond, by the width of the pond, by the depth of the pond, do some calculations and figure out how many gallons we got, how many liters, whatever the source of the pump is gonna require.
I try to fight off the mosquitoes who are at the back of the pond here, but we hear a bullfrog, so I'm gonna try to catch it. Oh, I'm curious to see what will happen to a bullfrog if it gets out in the middle of the water there. I'm pretty sure the trout are gonna not give it too much time. They're hungry. Maybe we get Clark's bent on that bullfrog. He's probably about the only one who can handle one right now, size-wise.
Got him.
Got one.
The other guy didn't move?
No. Oh, this guy almost got away.
Oh.
There's two. These aren't bullfrogs, but they're green frogs.
They're actually probably more of an edible size for those guys.
These are the perfect size. Let's go throw them. Let's go throw them in the water, see what happens. You think they're gonna be quick and smart enough to actually grab one of these? I have my doubts, so we'll see. Cycle of life. So he's smarter than I thought, man. He's just sitting on the lily pad. We're gonna try round two here. Clark's bent's way out there. Right there. All right, hit him.
I gotta throw it over here.
Okay.
Otherwise he's gonna go on that side.
All right, hit him. He's just being very, very still. Oh, there he goes. Oh man, he's gonna make it. Are you gonna make it home? Boy, we got a lot of training to do. A lot of training to do. These fish are definitely hatchery fish. Leave an easy meal like that. I mean, any normal bass or trout for that matter should just demolish those guys. We got a lot of work to do to convert this back into a normal ecosystem. Hey guys, we're just at a bridge not too far away from the pond here, and there's a creek and a bridge, pond and a creek and all that stuff. And there's a pile of minnows in this pond. So what we're gonna do is set some traps down here. We'll see if we can get some minnows into our pond. Let's get the traps. Mosquitoes down here, so dang bad. So bad. I've already thrown one trap in. I wanted to test it out a little bit to see what the potentials are to get minnows. Oh, I gotta watch my head under the bridge. So this is a good place to set a trap, primarily because there's gonna be very few people down here. I'm more worried about raccoons stealing the traps than anything. One trap in already, and I can see there's already tons and tons of minnows swimming around. So that's a good sign. Let's get the two others in. Man, the audio's gotta be weird in here, man. Oh, the mosquitoes are so bad. Okay, so I got a trap here. Here's a door at the front. This one's kind of interesting. It's a homemade design. Bob Hanser put out a video a while ago showing how to make it. It's got basically got a funnel at the back and a funnel, well, two funnels at the back, and then two funnels at the front, or whatever you want to call front and back. I guess it's really up to you. And then you get the minnows in and out, or crawfish, through this little door here, and then that seals shut with just a little piece of wire. Minnows are herbivores, so they start off eating algae and things like that. So they don't want to eat meat baits or anything like that. So we'll just put bread in. Bread works really well. Stale bread, any kind of bread, they're not picky. Just to give you guys an idea of how well this works, I just threw this cage in before I set the other one. I'm gonna pull it in here just now. There's already a whole mess of them. There's probably 30 in there already. We'll leave it overnight anyway. Come back, grab all 3. I don't have a pail anyway, so I can't do anything with them. And then we're gonna release them in the pond. And I think if we keep doing this, we're gonna get on top of our food. All right, guys, that's it for now. We'll come back in the morning and check it out, see what we got. I hope people didn't steal my traps. I hope raccoons didn't steal my traps either. Let's head down. Tons of bread still left in there. They look completely undisturbed. Let's pull them and see how many we got. I can see minnows in there already, so we're in good shape. There's a few in there. Not as many as I would hope, but this is the small trap. I hope the bigger trap has more. A few in there. Well, for all our efforts, we ended up with maybe a dozen. We're gonna have to figure something else out. We're just gonna have to check the traps more regularly. There was actually more minnows in the trap when I first put it in compared to waiting, so it may be just a matter of leaving it there for a couple hours and coming back to get it, and that's it. All right, well, let's bring these back to the pond and we'll let them go and we'll figure something else out. Well, so far we've been unsuccessful feeding them just about everything natural except for the pellet feed. Let's see if they'll take a minnow. Well, they immediately went over, looked at it. That's positive news. There, this one's partially crushed. Did you guys see that? It took it. All right, let's go one more before we release the rest of them live. Oh, they took it. They took it. They took it. It's working. I don't know if you guys can tell, but we've got a little bit of a cesspool going on. That's gonna be the next project. Not really sure what we're gonna do with this yet, but we're floating around a few ideas. Pond aeration is obviously a big thing that's gonna help solve this problem. So that's on the way. We think maybe we might skim it out. I don't know, maybe you guys have some idea. We don't wanna go the chemical route if we don't have to. I mean, the pond, it's not a big deal with the amount of algae that's there right now, but if it gets all choked out and this all suddenly dies, the oxygen's gonna be all out of the pond and the trout are gonna die too. All right, the rest of the minnows I'm just gonna dump in the water. Hopefully there's enough to establish a population, but probably not. We have to think of something else. If we chuck a bunch of minnows in the pond, we're not gonna know how well they're doing, and probably, to be honest, they're not gonna be doing that well, considering there's just so many predators in the pond right now with all those trout and bass in there. So what we're gonna do is actually build a pen. So I got a 4-foot length of hardware cloth. It's 1/4 inch, I think, gaps. And then on the bottom, we're gonna add another bit of hardware cloth. And then we're gonna float this using a couple pool noodles. So like these pool noodles are 5 foot long. So if that's correct, then when we loop this 10-foot section with 2 floating pool noodles, that'll help it keep up above the ground. Okay, so you guys understand the premise? Let's put this thing together. All right, there we go. It only took us about several hours to make, and it's overbuilt, but it's well built. How about that? I'm hoping that if we just let this thing float around, maybe we'll anchor it to one end of the pond. They'll eat the algae and then they'll do their thing, and then maybe as an experiment we'll throw a fish inside there and just see what it does to all the minnows. We'll do like a minnow head count, and then we'll do a final count, see how many got picked off by a trout. I think that would be pretty neat. What do you guys think? I definitely got to learn to be faster. It's almost my life goal, just to train trout how to become trout again. Wow, those frogs are smarter than you give them credit for. They got a strategy. They sit, they wait, they don't move, they paddle, they sit and they wait, and the fish never quite figure it out. And if they don't key on it right away, the opportunity's gone. So they have to have that image in their mind. So you do match the hatch with trout. That's what they're doing. They're like, they don't have to make a decision. They just know what they're looking for, and they grab it and they grab it and they grab it and they grab it. We're not matching the hatch. The hatch is pellet food. A little bit of a battle to get them switched over, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna keep doing this until we get it right. We've also got piles and piles of these snails hanging around the edges, up in the trees and branches and stuff. And you crush these and take the shells off and then throw them in. I did throw a couple in before and the trout seemed to like it. Nice little bite-sized meal. You feel funny crawling on my hand, man. They're like tickling. Are these two guys fighting? Look at them, they're fighting. Weird. This guy's leaving a snot trail on my hand. Wish you guys could see them grab it, but it's hard to film in that muddy water. With the GoPro anyway. Mark's still trying to get the bass out. He's obsessed with getting the big guy out. He's got a top water lunker frog imitation. The bass will go after the frogs naturally, but the trout, well, some of the big trout seem interested now. He took the line, put it right in that hole where he popped out of, where he made. There he is. You get him? No. There, he's there. Ah, he had him. But he's only getting the leg, right? He's not big enough. I mean, when I did get the big one on this thing, it just immediately was gone. He swallowed the whole thing. Couple of tadpoles? Yeah. Ready? Oh! It took one. They're not exactly picking them off, but oh, look at this big mess of them right in the middle there. Well, now we just got freaking rain, which is just awesome. Get this thing in the water here. I hope it floats. It's not a boat, but we hope it floats. All right, let's launch out. I think we're gonna go put it over there in the deeper section. I think like somewhere around here would be perfectly acceptable. It's as good a spot as any. We launch it in here and then we'll go back and get the minnows. All right. You guys know how stable this boat is? Like, you can stand up in it and it's pretty freaking slick. Check this thing out, man. All right, let's make sure we got our rope where we need it to go. Sinks. Oh, it sinks and floats at the same time. Check that out. That's perfect. And then we got a brick here tied off. We'll make sure that touches the bottom. And it does. And the rope is a touch long here. We've got that tied up in the middle there, but we don't want it to go too much further than where it is right there. So let's tie, we'll just kind of add an extra loop in there. That'll shrink the rope up. Now we're gonna go back, grab the minnows. I set the traps yesterday for minnows because I wanted to do this today. So I left the traps out. We just, Holden and I, Holden's in the car right now. He want to get wet. I don't blame him. I don't want to get wet either. There we go, in we go. You guys see those in there? We got, well, the crawfish we won't throw in there because they will do absolutely no good having crawfish in the minnow container. We're gonna let them go in the water. That can go, there's a bigger one. So we've got like 4 crawfish in there now, so far. So maybe they'll help populate the crawfish population. Here, you go in there. See you later, dude. And there's one guy left, but he's a small one at the bottom. I'm really happy with how that turned out. It's like better than I thought it was, really. All right, let's get pulled up here, and I mean, you could use this for almost anything. You could raise fish in here. Like you can put small fry in there. We got, I don't know what kind of minnows these are, but they're all kind of the same species, which is ideal. Oops, we lost that guy. These are all the same kind of species. This one's full of parasites, actually, which is not good. You can see all those little black spots. I don't know if you can see that or not, but those are parasites. Anyway, in the water they go. We lost one already. We'll throw him in there. So that's 3 so far. We have a good guess of how many are in here. Would be a bad idea. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. We'll say about 26. It's not exactly 26, but we don't need to know. We're just going to see if they end up with more or some small minnows in there. So in she goes. Let's see where they end up. There's a big fat one. That might be having some spawners in there. And there you go, to your new home. Safe and protected. Honestly, I think they're going to be completely fine with all that algae that's in this pond, because I think that's what they're eating before. Into your new home. There we go, lots of bread in there. And see, they're all are exploring the perimeters there now, because obviously they don't like to be out in the open because they think they're not safe out there, but they actually are. So you guys got your new home. How you like that? Alright guys, there it is, launched out in the middle there. If you guys enjoy this video, please do whatever you do when you like videos. Share them, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you watch the whole video, write full stop. If you want to see more pond stuff, you know what to do. See you guys later.